Hey guys, Paldean Wonders is here and we got the full set day one, and there are a few cards that I really want to talk about and go over. And the first one is this guy. What the heck? Armarouge EX. With the ability Armor, this Pokemon takes minus 30 from attack. So even though it's at 140 HP, which is rather low, it takes reduced damage. Could you imagine if this was also a 3 retreat cost Pokemon? You could heavy helmet this guy. He already has a helmet. Throw on another helmet, but that won't work on this. On top of that, 2 colorless, 1 fire energy, armor cannon for 120 damage, and it discards a fire energy from this Pokemon. So I think you obviously play this with Flame Patch, but also you could ramp this up with baby Pokemon because of the colorless requirement, or you can even ramp this, I guess, the basic form with Ho-Oh instead. Now, something I really do want to talk about is another new Pokemon that was introduced in this set. But before we get there, Armarouge is a stage 1. You throw in the training area. Now you're hitting for 130. That sounds pretty good, right? Let's check out this guy. The brand new Skeledirge, which by itself isn't that crazy. However, this ability is nuts. Once during your turn, you may discard 1 fire energy from this Pokemon in order to use this ability. So there's a cost to use this ability. During this turn, attacks used by your fire Pokemon do plus 50 damage to your opponent's active, which is insane, okay? But again, this doesn't stack. You can have 2 Skeledirges on your bench, activate both of their abilities, and then even Flame Patch onto your active to get an energy onto them in order to attack. And now you're guaranteed 100 damage plus whatever your active Pokemon is hitting the opponent with. This being able to stack is really scary. Now let's talk about Arboliva. I think I said that right. Finally, 130 HP as a stage 2. It has the ability Extra Heal. Now, once during your turn, you may heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon EXs that has any energy attached. However, if you do, it's like a Lily, but only for EXs. You have to discard a random energy from that Pokemon. So there is another cost association. But while we're on this topic of stage 2s, stage 2s just got a massive buff with this brand new tool. And that's going to be the Big Air Balloon. The stage 2 Pokemon this card is attached to has no retreat cost, which is kind of nuts because think of things that have like 4 retreat costs. Well, now they retreat for literally free. They're baby Pokemon in terms of retreating. All right, now let's talk about the other powerhouse of this set, which I think is going to be pretty scary, is Bellibolt EX, 160 HP, stage 1, 2 lightning energy, move, high voltage cannon, deals 70 damage. However, if you have 4 more lightning energy in play, this attack does 70 more damage. Do you know how easy that is with Ramp Magneton from set 1? Just that card by itself. Or how about one of the new Crown Rare cards? Yeah, we got lucky today. The Electric Generator, or the Gold Gun, if you want to call it. Flip a coin if heads, take a lightning energy from your energy zone and attach it to one of your benched Pokemon. This directly works with Bellibolt EX because it counts 4 for amongst all of your Pokemon. So if you hit heads, you can get this going by turn 2 going second and start hitting your opponent for 140, which is insane. Oh, that is a good point. Keep in mind that Tadbulb from Fantastical Parade ramps itself. Next is Orthworm, a 100 HP basic metal Pokemon, which is literally Dialga Light if you really want to think about it. Iron Supply deals 10 damage for 1 metal energy, but it takes a metal energy from your energy zone and attaches to one of your benched Pokemon, which directly works with the brand new Goldango EX, which could be very terrifying. Next up is Chien-Pao EX, and yes, we got a rainbow. This thing is stunning. It's actually my only rainbow that I pulled. Day 1, I say only, like we got some pretty lucky pulls. I'm very thankful. But this is a rather unique card, 130 HP. It goes up to 150 with the Starting Plains Stadium. It has 2 moves. Ice School deals 20 damage. However, Diving Icicles is what's really interesting to me because this move says discard all water energy from this Pokemon, and this attack does 130 to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So you could snipe literally anything on the board for 3 energy. That kind of stinks, right? Like, unless you're running Manaphy and ramping something else and having maybe Elemental Switch to then be able to do it again, this feels kind of bad. Or maybe even Vaporeon Washout to redo it. It doesn't feel as strong as it could be. until you find out of this other Pokemon that also exists in this set. And that's the brand new Baxcalibur with the ability Ice Maker, which is very authentic to the official standard TCG because they actually pair up in a deck. That's actually how I first started playing the official standard TCG, was playing a Chien-Pao EX deck with Baxcalibur. And they synergize together. So I imagine they also synergize here. This says, once during your turn, you may take a water energy from your energy zone and attach it to your water Pokemon in the active spot. Now, there's nothing about this that says it doesn't stack. So if you have two Baxcaliburs online, which is pretty tough, you could essentially hit back-to-back 130 attacks with Chien-Pao, which is exactly what I'm going to be trying to do. But that's not all. This Pokemon can work with things like Palkia EX and so many other water types that can get going that much faster now. Another new card that's kind of unique is the Team Star Grunt supporter that says discard a random energy from among the energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So there's a condition, but there's no coin flips like TRG, Team Rocket Grunt, that says flip heads in order to delete those energies. A random energy from amongst your opponent's Pokemon that have an ability. So this could be pretty unique, especially against like something like Skeledirge, I'd imagine, your opponent's Skeledirge, if that's a huge thing. And I'm sure there's actually a lot of other Pokemon with abilities that this could work with, right? You're right. It stops Magneton to an extent, stops them from ramping for free. So yeah, there could be a lot of use case scenarios for TSG is what we're going to refer to them. You're right. Giratina too. Now I just want to talk about some Pokemon that I'm super excited about. Annihilate being one of them. 140 HP, 90 damage for 1 energy. With a meta where Lucky Ice Pop exists, we deal 30 damage to ourselves. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm smacking my opponent turn 2 for 90. Yes, please. Sign me up. That is sensational. Espathra is also kind of unique. This seems like a really nice comeback counter card for 1 psychic energy. It deals 30, but then an additional 20 for each energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So depending on how much energy they can have, you can deal up to, like if they have 4 energy, what is that? That's going to be a total of 110. My math is probably off, but that feels right. That's a lot of damage for only 1 energy. We also have a Quaquaval here that has the ability Torrent, which is unique. If this Pokemon's remaining HP is 50 or less, attacks used by this Pokemon do 60 plus damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. The issue is, it's kind of a scary range to be in, right? Less than 50, and then you're going to hit for 150 yourself for 3 energy. Like, that's great and all, but also you really don't want to be there. However, you are a non-EX, so it's not that much of an issue if you think about it. And finally, the new Pawmot, which deals 100 damage for 2 lightning energy and discards 1 lightning energy from this Pokemon. Now, by itself, it's really nothing, but it's never by itself. This paired with the new supporter, Nemona, allows this Pawmot to hit your opponent's active EX Pokemon for a total of 180. But I'm not sure if you play this over the old Pawmot. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And also, what do you think of this new set? Which cards are you excited about? Which cards are kind of meh? And also, which cards did I kind of just gloss over that you're like, yo, dude, you definitely need to take another look at those cards because they're kind of busted. With that, guys, don't forget to like, hype, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.